throughout the human histories, we invented a fantastic set of technologies that help us move from A to B. And MIT contributed to many of these particular modes of travel. However, has this technology translated into the improvement of the mobility system as a whole? How many of you have been to China before? Many. How many of you have been to China in the 1980s? There may be a few. One, two, a few, right? What do you see in this picture? Bicycles, pedestrians, electric buses. How do you call this picture today? Low carbon travel, active travel, healthy travel, sustainable travel. This is the dreamland of today's transportation planners. And Beijing, in the last year, strive itself to move away from this mobility paradigm. Right? Within the 30 years, we go back, technology clearly improved. But is transportation a better place? And you can ask the same question for Boston. Right? Transportation is the biggest CO2 emitter. And a much part of that are car travels. And at MIT, we teach a class called Decarbonize Urban Mobility. The current situation looks like the 5 blind men observing the elephant. We see this as a bicycle problem. We see this as an electric vehicle problem. We see this urban development problem. We see the public transit problem. There's so many different aspects about decarbonizing urban mobility. And today, I want to drive your attention to the behavior change. If I ask you, why do people buy cars? Right? We actually asked that question in the study. In this particular way, I would like to own a car even if I do not need to travel. How much you will guess? People will say yes. Before I run the study, I thought maybe 10%, 5%, but the result blew me away. Half of the people said, I want a car regardless. Right? That means there must be something else beyond a travel instrument to have a car. If you ask this more directly, I feel proud of owning my car. A majority of people said yes. This notion of the social biases related to travel mode is not unique to Chinese city or any particular city. In fact, in 1986, there's a quote misattributed to Margaret Lady Thatcher. You read, a man over 35 found himself on the bus, can call himself a failure, right? So if you are in London in the 1980s, it doesn't matter the travel time, travel cost. Your life is a failure if you don't have a bus. How much powerful this will change people's behavior. Right? So is travel a simple mundane chore, or does it have a higher meaning attached to it? In fact, if you look at different aspects of life, food, clothing, housing, traveling, all of them have an element of utility and also have an element of vanity. Right? So we need to pay attention to this emotional travel if we're really serious about decarbonizing the transportation sector. We then compared between US and China. We looked for one city, maybe have the lowest car price we can imagine, New York City, let's say. We find it's as high as in Shanghai, where car is still developing. And then further, we surveyed about 41,000 people across 50 countries, try to have a global comparison about the car price level. To the right, if I can here, if you look at the countries with the highest price, they are Kenya, India, Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia, Thailand, etc. To the left is countries like Japan, Switzerland, Denmark, France have the lowest car price. Overall, the dark dots represent the developed country. Developed countries, in general, have a lower car price, except the United States. So it's right here. Yeah. In the developing country, though, the desire is high, but income is low. So their preference is being compressed at the moment. When income grows, the car ownership may explode. If every one of the 7.7 billion human beings strive to have a car as part of successful life, No technology exists today to satisfy this desire without destroying our planet. But what can happen in 30 years? Where's the hope? I mentioned London in the 1980s, public transit were very bad. Such dramatized it. But after 30 years, when I was working in London, MIT has been working with Tram for London for 15 years now. I observed people, rich and poor, old and young, use public transit happily without worrying about their social image being distant. And in fact, in 2008, the mayor of London sent the red bus to Beijing to retrieve the Olympic flag. So bus, from being seen as the fate of life to the pride of the city. So things can change. It takes about a generation to do so. Here, more fundamentally, we've been working together to change the social fundamental accounting system. Just like time and money, we need to elevate carbon to be one of the fundamental components. Every one of us think about it every minute. And then link this national carbon reduction commitment to the individual behavior in terms of decarbon. Observation one, as of today, individuals and corporations are under different social pressures. The corporations are under much higher pressure through the ESG process to decarbonize. And we need to channel this corporation's carbon reduction commitment to the individual to reward the behavior change by the individual. Secondly, we want to engage everybody in a fun, artistic, and privacy-preserving manner. Today, so much brain power are used to get us all addicted to the social media, to the games, and to the metaverse. Can we utilize some of this brain power to get us addicted to carbon reduction? Finally, how do you bring this behavior thinking and computational thinking together? We can use the blockchain technology to record and verify the specific carbon reduction behavior change. We're minting NFTs all the time for all this digital creation. Can we mint an NFT for each of the decarbonizing travel trips? And every trip could be a piece of art. And every low-carbon trip could be a piece of beautiful art. Lastly, I will leave with you this picture. This is a sedan carried by 8 persons. If you're in Asian China, this is probably you need to be a governor to have a sedan carried by 8 persons. If an emperor, you have a sedan carried by 16 persons. If a mayor, you have a sedan carried by 4 persons. If a lay person, you walk. Okay. What I'm saying is this association with travel mode to the social status is long-rooted in human culture. But today, still taking pride in owning a car is old-fashioned. The culture is powerful, and the culture is sticky, but culture can also change. And in order to decarbonize urban mobility, we need to understand the emotion of travel. Thank you.